Court is something of a forgotten horse as well. His hurdling form ties up quite closely with Summersby.
Well, you're keen on him. The ground's certainly coming in favour, Leader, hasn't it?
Yeah, I would have thought so, and he stays a bit further, which is no bad thing for an Arkle either. And Welcome Folly, he's representing Paul Nicholls, and he, of course, took a heavy fall. We might not have heard about that had he not injured Sam Thomas on that day and put Sam Thomas, unfortunately, out of the festival. Well, it's the Irish Independent Arkle Challenge Trophy Chase. Captain Seaby is the 5-2 favourite. Let's go and join commentary for our second race on the first day of Cheltenham 2010.
Thanks, Lydia. Yeah, promises to be an absolute thriller. Sizing Europe leading them in, walking in towards the tapes now. Here we go, and they're off and racing for the Irish Independent Arkle Challenge Trophy. And a quick run to the first of 12 fences. I'm Delilah on the inside, Mad Max and Sizing Europe prominent in the centre. With them as well is Sportsline. Slight error by Welcome Folly, possibly at the back of the field. They're not quite as fluent as one or two of his other rivals. They go quickly onto the second. Sizing Europe put in a shorty there, but jumped it okay. And as they settle down, pulling his way to the front on the far side, well, just tracking I'm Delilah now. Almost ran out there at that little hurdle. She's just proving hard to settle, I'm Delilah. Mad Max joining her on the outside, followed on the inside then by Sportsline. Together on the outer, Sizing Europe fourth. Osana's Cheek Pieces, Kangaroo Court, the black jacket on the rail is next, followed there by Foster's Cross. Working further out to Summersby with Quiz Cover Fontaine, Captain Seaby at the back of the field, together with Riverside Theatre, who races on the outside. And last of all is Welcome Folly, who's about 8 lengths off the pace. So allowed to stride on now. Ruby Walsh allows Sportsline to gather some momentum and takes over, going up the hill then towards fence number 4 here in the Arkle, with Mad Max on his outside jumping in second place. I'm Delilah on the inside, not all that fluent, close up with third. Sizing Europe settling behind Mad Max on the outside of Osana, followed then by Foster's Cross, Kangaroo Court and Summersby racing together. Then comes Captain Seaby, the purple jacket, white sleeves of Quiz Cover Fontaine as they head towards the downhill fence at this point. At the back of the field, Welcome Folly pecked as he took that fence. Second error he's made in the race so far. On they go to the water jump, which is fence number 6. And Sportsline and Mad Max over it in good style, first and second. Followed by Sizing Europe on the outside in the red cap. Tracking them on the inner is I'm Delilah with Osana's Cheek Pieces. Captain Seaby's got a bit closer on the quarters now of Summersby in the middle of the field, with Quiz Cover Fontaine next as they took that open ditch. Further back in the field is Foster's Cross with Welcome Folly, and Kangaroo Court has been relegated to last place, but the field is only separated by about 6 or 7 lengths as they took that fence again. Welcome Folly not all that fluid at the back of the field, going across towards fence number 9 at the top of the hill, the big ditch, and Mad Max has taken over now. Sizing Europe tanking along there on the outside, going nicely with him, with Sportsline on the inside as they took that ditch. Osana was next. There was a mistake at the back by Foster's Cross, and Kangaroo Court wasn't all that fluent either, and the field began to get pretty well strung out now. And it's the giant horse Mad Max who begins to serve it up to his rivals, but Sizing Europe canters into second place. Sportsline a length and a half way third, followed by Osana. Summersby getting closer. AP's asking Captain Seaby to improve now, and does so as they head down the hill. I'm Delilah. Riverside Theatre has dropped right out of contention as they come down towards the third last in the Arkle. And it's Mad Max here and Paul Carberry. A good leap by the leader. Sizing Europe in second. Bad mistake by Captain Seaby when trying to make up ground. He's in fifth. Osana's third. Summersby now being asked to pick up. It's a bit of a flat spot though. Coming down to this second last here. Sizing Europe on the outside of Mad Max, who hit that hard. He recovered well. Great recovery by Paul Carberry. Osana slips up the inside though, and Sizing Europe all of a sudden hits the front, and he seems to be full of running, turning to the home straight. Within second place, Osana. Mad Max seems to have given his all. Summersby stays on with Captain Seaby next. Here's the final fence now for Sizing Europe, and Andrew Lynch up towards it terrifically. Osana chasing hard in second under Andrew McNamara as they race up the hill. Summersby staying on Durley. Sizing Europe has to dig deep here because they're challenging him on the far side. Here comes Summersby. Sizing Europe needs the line and will get there with the Arkle. Sizing Europe won it from Summersby in second. Osana was third. Mad Max Riverside Theatre stayed on from nowhere to get fifth.
Sizing Europe has finally got his. He has proved the good horse that his trainer has always maintained he was. He said so going into the champion hurdle when the horse went wrong. He's maintained so ever since, despite the horse having his knockers. But this horse has proved himself here today, jumping well and at speed, always towards the 4, and he stayed on strongly up the hill for Andrew Lynch and Henry de Bomhead. Many congratulations to them. Sizing Europe really is the real deal. In second, it was Summersby, just got outpaced approaching the second last. He couldn't quite go with Asana and Sizing Europe when they struck for home. Robert Thornton tried to galvanise him. He just stayed on solidly in the closing stages, looking like he will need further. Henrietta Knight will be happy with his performance. Will certainly be happy with his jumping. And third was Asana, placed again in a Grade 1 at Cheltenham. Second in the champion hurdle, a couple of seasons.